Hey, what's up guys, WiseGuyVito here, and today I have an tier list video for you guys, and this one will be on Sentries against the Terminid faction. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get straight into the tier list. So before we start, let's go over the tiers real quick. S tier would be kind of like the meta picks for the limited faction on level 10 difficulty. A tier would be above average. You might have a glaring issue with it, but for the most part, this is still a solid Sentry. You can still take this at level 10 difficulties. B tier is kind of mid for the most part. It's kind of average feeling. It's neither good nor bad, just mid for the most part. C tier is below average. Might need like one buff to it in order to make it kind of like a more above average to S tier level of Sentry. And then D tier is the Dookie tier. This is the bad tier. This is the why would I even want to bring this tier. It might have one really specific niche to it as well. That's just not worth it. You know, just bringing it at all, in my opinion, and we'll kind of go over what those sentries are. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the tier list. So, the anti-tank mines, these are okay for the most part. I kind of rarely bring these, and I get kind of like no value out of them really too much. They're good on defense missions. They are good on like wiping out. I guess it'd be called like the Terminid wipe. We have to kill like a certain amount of Terminids. On city maps, these are kind of better because you can see them a little bit better, and they're not on slanted hills or anything like that. So you'll be able to kind of place them a little bit better. But in my opinion, though, these kind of do feel mid for the most part. Most mines in this game just feel mid. There is one that I do think is worth taking, but it's just strictly because it's just Incendiary. Spoiler alert. But as far as the anti-tank mines go, they're okay with handling chargers and impalers and anything that's really heavy. Even stalkers set these off, I think. So they're pretty good as far as like taking out big targets. It's just you kind of have to kite the enemy in the right place in the right time, and this game is really inconsistent on whether or not you can actually kite enemies proficiently, so that's why I'm putting it into like mid tier. It's neither good nor bad, has its uses, but for the most part it just feels very mid. This is like the anti-tank placement. This is like the big cannon that you can like control and move around and stuff like that. It can take out Terminid structures, it can take out chargers, it can take out Bile Titans, it could take out impalers as well, and it can snipe Terminid structures from across the map, so you don't have to deal with them anymore, namely Shrieker-Nest and spore spewers and stuff like that. I really enjoy this tank placement a lot, and that's why I do think that it is in the S tier ranking for me. Just simply because like it can just take out basically all of the more tankier enemies in the game. Plus, it can also take out those pesky Shrieker-Nests as well, and take out Terminid structures, and that's why I really do think that these are really good right now. Autocannon, what's there to say? I do believe that the Autocannon is probably the best entry in the entire game right now, because it just handles everything. Handles tanks, or like tankier enemies, so Bile Titans, chargers and impalers, but you also take out the more elite style enemies as well, and that will be more or less the Brood Commanders, Nursing Spewers, Bile Spewers, and such. And just an overall, just a very good mob clearing Sentry as well. It's just solid overall. That's why I'm putting it into the S tier ranking. EMS mortars, these are really good for just stunning just groups of enemies at a time. I do think that this is probably like one of the best utility stratagems in the entire game. But other than that, though, it's just mainly just for mob clearing or just mob control. Not necessarily mob clearing, but just mob control. And for me, depending on the mission, these are really super S tier, right? Any type of like defense mission, any type of clearing swaths, or just mob controlling, like again, like the missions where you have to kill a certain amount of Terminids. These are really good. Even on missions with like the flag, these are very good, because you get swarmed very easy on those missions. These kind of like help you kind of keep everything back so that you can actually take out things one at a time, or just mob clear. And for me personally, this is why I do think that these are just an S tier pick overall. Just a very good Sentry overall. It doesn't have any destruction power to it, but it doesn't need it because you have mob clear or mob control, and that's why I do think that they're very good right now. The Flamethrower Sentry. Okay, so these are really good right now, and it's because they have a 95% fire resistance, so they don't burn themselves out with the fire, but also you can throw these out quite often. They're about on the same level as like the regular little itty bitty machine gun sentry as far as like how many you can throw out at a time. That's why I really like the sentry. I really like the sentry overall, but I did think that it needed something, and they did indeed do what I thought that they should have done, which is just lower the cooldown, because with the performance that it did have, which trust me, like whenever it shined, it would get like 50-60 kills for me because fire is insane in this game right now. But, you know, the amount of time between uses, the occasional charger that would just run over it and just kill it, I didn't really think that was really worth bringing in my opinion. It was like a C tier, maybe even like a D tier pick. Even though the flame was good on it and everything else, it still didn't, like, I could have gladly picked anything else other than the Sentry. However, right now it feels really good to use because if it blows up, it's not a big deal. You can, you know, about that time that it does blow up, you have another one, or you're about to have another one, and that's why I do think that it's probably like an A tier pick. Again, like the glaring issue that it has right now to it is that it doesn't kill chargers quickly enough whenever they do get run over. But the nice thing about these as well is that like they have a good mob clearing to them, but Shriekers, it doesn't do too well against Shriekers because it doesn't have that much range to it, right? So that's why I'm putting it into the A tier. But right now, it's in a very good spot. It's in a very, very good spot right now. The gas mines are just S tier. Anything that's gas related in this game is just going to be super S tier, in my opinion, because gas is just a better stun. It controls the battlefield pretty well, and applies damage over time. So just overall, just an amazing mine overall. Probably the best mines in the entire game, to be perfectly honest with you. But these mines are pretty good overall. Gatling Sentry, very good at mobbing. It just doesn't handle chargers and impalers and titans very well. I do think that the autocannon is probably better than this, but as far as just for straight mobbing goes, it is very, very good. I'm kind of split on this one. There's probably, you can make the argument that it's just it just does really, really good at mobbing, so it should be an S tier pick. But I don't know. I just feel like that it doesn't deserve the place on the same level as like the autocannon, because the autocannon it just does mobbing better, like just overall. Like this is still like a really good Sentry. Like don't get me wrong, it just the autocannon Sentry just does this better. And it does anti-tank stuff. So for me, it's going to be probably A tier for the most part, but I do like this a lot. If they were to make any buffs to it and changes to it, maybe decrease the cooldown to it, and it probably would be better, or just give them more ammo. I think that would also be pretty good as well. This is the machine gun placement. It's okay. I mean, like it does handle Terminid placements from afar. The thing is that if I'm going to be like for mobbing, I guess it's fine, but I'd rather just use like just a Sentry that does the work for me. Anti-tank placement, I do think is way better than these if you're going to be killing Terminid structures and big heavy armor targets. These also have heavy armor, AP4, basically heavy armor pen as well, but you know, like potato but like play style thing for me, it's still a good Sentry. Like don't get me wrong, it's not crap or anything, but I'd just rather have the anti-tank placement over this one if I'm just going to be just killing anti-tanks and stuff like that. For mobbing though, I'd rather just take a different Sentry. I'd rather take the machine gun Sentry or like the Gatling Sentry over the Sentry, in my opinion. But if you want to get more involved with your shot placements and stuff like that, then you bring this. So the trench. Basically, a trench wall comes up and it puts a grenade launcher on it, and the grenade launcher has a good amount of ammo to it. This is kind of good on defense missions, but I'm not gonna lie, these things are kind of crap in my opinion. Like they're not really too great. Like if this was automatons, I'd probably put it higher, like maybe low B. But for me, like these are really bad on Terminids, right? I know that you have a grenade launcher and stuff like that, but the thing is with Terminids is that you constantly want to be moving, so that you're not getting swarmed. That's just me though. But like overall, like I just wish these things were just a little bit better. I wish you could reload the actually yeah, like I don't think that you can't like I haven't used these things in a while because it's just a trench wall with the grenade launcher on, and that's it. Like again, like on defense missions, it's probably okay on that end. It's just very it's just super niche on one particular mission type. But other than that, that's it. So that's what I'm putting into the D tier category. Laser. Okay, so against heavily armored targets, this is not too great. On the bug side, anyways, right? On the automaton side and the Lima side, whole different story. We'll get to that tier list whenever we get to it. But on bugs, really good at mobbing, and it's really good at handling shriekers. So if you get like a flock of pelicans coming your way, you can just throw this down, and it basically handles everything for you. Other than that, though, it's kind of like a low A tier for me, right? It's still it's really good, like really good at handling shriekers and mobbing, but everything else it doesn't do too great on. And personally, for like if you want a laser max, that's cool, that's fine, right? It does burn out really, really quickly if you're not too careful. So if there's something that it's aiming at, and if it's not actually hitting the thing that it's aiming at, it'll just continuously shoot at the thing that it's aiming at until it just completely just explodes. One cool thing about this as well is that whenever it does explode, it actually leaves like a little thing of fire. So similar to like the Incendiary turret or like the flame turret as well. So, but overall, like I think this is a fine turret. It's not necessarily mid in my opinion. Like it does have its uses, and it does feel pretty good to use at certain times. But against like heavy armor targets and stuff like that, you're going to want to help this thing out as it's shooting at those targets. So that's what I'm putting into the A tier. Machine gun Sentry. I almost want to put this in S tier because it's just so good at just mobbing, and you could just throw 1,000 of these things out. Like it is, like this thing is unstoppable. Like it's just that good at just mobbing. But I kind of want to be conservative here because I do like these a lot. But I feel like it's probably just an A tier pick. It's just a nice low cooldown machine gun turret, and that's very, very good. It has medium armor pen as well. It just has like a lower TTK compared to the Gatling Sentry, right? But the nice thing about this is that it has fairly decent amount of ammo to it. Plus, you can throw out these constantly because the low cooldowns to them. So that's why I do find them to be particularly good, and that's why I'm putting them into the A tier category. This is anti-personnel, just kind of mid for the most part. Like they're not bad, they're not good, just mid overall. They have a fairly low cooldown to them, so you can kind of just place this everywhere, but just be mindful of your teammates, because your teammates might be morons and just run over them, or they might not know it, and they might just step on a mine. But the mines overall, these mines are just not too great. Like these are probably kind of like the weakest mines, maybe. Or actually, no, probably the anti-tank mines are probably the weakest mines. But these are pretty good just overall, just because like they can just straight up kill things, which is nice. But again, mines are just kind of temperamental because it depends on where you're on the map, what situation. Like are you kiting enemies into it, like that type of things. That's why I'm putting it into the B tier category. Mortars. I really do think mortars are S tier. They really are. They're just super destructive though. So like against your teammates. But other than that though, these are like super good on any type of defense mission, kill mission, capture the flag missions, or plant the flag missions. Anything that has a horde that's just spawned in, you just throw these down and just let them just wreak havoc, and they just do really, really well. But you have to be careful, though, because it can kill your teammates. The nice thing is that they did put a ping system in for mortars, by the way, so you can kind of like ping where you want them to hit, so it's not directly killing your teammates all the time. But if you just want to free ball it, throw these things down and have your teammates yell at you later. But for the most part, I do think these are really, really good right now, just because of their destructive nature. So that's what I'm putting into the S tier. This is the Incendiary mines. Incendiary mines are really good. I do think that probably gas is better because of this crowd control. But the nice thing about Incendiary mines is that fire got buffed. I just think that gas is just better still. Like, gas is just insane right now. They just are. Like gas is like super good because it's crowd control and damage over time. This is just straight raw damage. And since fire got buffed, it might be. You could probably argue it's probably an S tier pick, but I'm going to be conservative here because I do think that, again, these mines are like a little bit more temperamental. These mines actually kill your teammates, where these mines don't. Gas mines don't really kill your teammates because like you can just land on a mine, stem, and then just run away from it and just get out of the gas and you're fine. With these can straight up just kill you. So like there's a little bit of error that you can have with the gas mines compared to the incendiary mines. But the incendiary mines, like I said, like they do have like plenty of raw damage, and that feels pretty good. So that's why I'm putting it into the A tier. The Rocket Sentry. Okay, Rocket Sentry does target big enemies sometimes, right? For that reason, I think they're fine. I just think that the autocannon is just better. Again, like the autocannon is just so good in this game. Like it is insane how good the autocannon Sentry is. It just does everything, right? Now the difference is that the autocannon, the autocannon Sentry, it doesn't really go after heavily armored targets. Like it shoots at everything that it sees, regardless of like how big or small that it is. With the Rocket Sentry, it's supposed to do that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it'll, like, let's say if like a warrior, like a pack of warriors, comes around the corner, the Sentry will then turn and start shooting at it, right? Well, let's say if it takes a while for the Sentry to kill those things. Bile Titan then comes around the corner. It'll still be shooting at the warriors because it's locked onto the warriors and it wants those warriors dead and it won't fire at the Bile Titan, right? If it did have the smarts or the AI behind it to where it's like, oh, there's a big thing behind the thing I was shooting at before. Okay, I'm going to aim at that big thing. Then it probably would be better. But it's just kind of temperamental. Depending on like the situation, it can be really good. Sometimes it can't be. But I do find these to be really good though. And that's what I'm putting into the S tier. But you guys let me know down in the comment section below like what you think about the Rocket Sentry because I am kind of curious. The shield generator, don't even bother. This thing is garbage. Okay, even on automatons and illuminate, like stuff that can actually shoot at you, I don't think this thing is really good either. On bugs, it's completely worthless. Don't even worry about using it on bugs. There's no reason to bring it on bugs, but if you want to be a troll and if you want to use it, that's fine. There's actually one bug in the game that can actually no, there's two of them that can shoot at you, and that's the bile spewers and like little green bugs. Those guys can shoot at you, but other than that, that's it. So you don't really run into those often. And if you do, it's kind of like a random thing, right? So that's what I'm putting those in the D tier. It's just worthless against this faction in general. And the Tesla Tower. Okay. Tesla Tower was probably an A tier pick for me, okay? Whenever they made the recent changes to stun on like a lot of weapons, for whatever reason, the devs also changed the stun values or like the stun buildup on the Tesla Tower as well. Meaning it takes, for whatever reason, it takes 2 shocks to stun a charger now rather than 1 shock. It needed to be the 1 shock because now chargers can just blow through Tesla towers now, even after the first shock, which kind of renders these things kind of useless and kind of bad because if you have if you have any other enemy, this thing is fine. If you have a charger though, or anything that can like basically just like run over real quick, so basically a charger, these things are kind of useless. In my opinion, they kind of need to revert the change on that because these things are going to be Tesla towers are going to be in the middle of enemies anyways, so they're already fragile, right? It was fine the way that it was before. I don't know why they had to change these things. And by the way, they changed these things and didn't mention in the patch notes, which is also like a no-no for me. If you're going to change something, put it in the patch notes. Don't just change things and say, well, we only changed these things over here, but it also applies to these things over here, but like we're not going to mention it, right? Well, it involves the Tesla Tower as well. So, because now, for whatever reason, the devs buffed certain stun weapons in the game, right? But they also nerfed them because now it takes more shots to actually stun things. Again, I don't understand why they think that stun is overpowered to the point where like they're doing like this tug and pull thing because they don't need to do any tug and pull to stun, in my opinion. Stun sucks right now because of gas. Gas makes stun kind of obsolete right now in the game. It just does. There's like a rare exception for like maybe like the EMS mortar, because the EMS mortar does like it just launches constant just like AOE stun fields that last for a good while, and it stuns groups of enemies. That's actually useful. The Tesla Tower is supposed to stun and kill. The problem is that it kind of kills now, but it doesn't stun on chargers now, and that's a problem. For that reason, I'm gonna have to put them in C tier because they're not necessarily like Dookie. They're not booty. Okay, they're still really good. Well, okay, they're not really good. They're still okay-ish. They need the change back, because if they have the change back to where they actually can stun chargers in one shot, they'd be A tier. But they're not. They're a C tier pick at best. You know, I'll give them like a little bit of love here because I actually really do like the Tesla Towers. I do think they're really fun to use. But they're just not great right now. They're just not. Like, they're okay at mobbing now, which is good, right? Or like they're okay at mobbing just in general. But the nice thing about them is that they did really good damage against chargers and they stunned them. And now they don't. And that's bad. They need to be changed. So that's why I'm putting them into the C tier category. So you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below about these Tesla Towers, about what your experience is after this most recent patch. This is my tier list. You guys let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where, you would disagree or agree. I like to start a conversation down in the comment section. As always, like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.